got to be the culture, man.
That's like because I don't really notice a difference in attitude with black workers, at least. At least here in Arizona, but obviously it's not. It's going to be a lot different than if living in Houston, where you might have the whole restaurant staff is black.
Well, no, listen. There's some restaurants out here that have black workers. At least where I'm at in Lake Oswego, and they're just as charming as their white counterparts. I think it's the environment as well. Because I went to an Italian restaurant not so long ago, and shit was overrated, overpriced and oversauced. But it was they were selling the ambiance. But anyways, I had a black waitress, very sweet lady. She did her thing. Any issue that I didn't have much, but the person I was with, she was kind of picky, and she no issue whatsoever. Didn't have an issue. Oh, let me take care of that for you. Because she was telling me that she doesn't like doing that because she's worried about people fucking her food. And I understand that, you know what I mean. But I'm not going to pay for something that I don't like. If I go to a restaurant, I expect it to be made to my liking. That's what I'm paying you to do. So I have no problem saying, hey, could you take this back? I asked for it medium. This is well done. Could you take this back? You know what I mean? Though again, I expect the restaurants that I go to don't have motherfuckers in the back that are throwing my shit on the floor. I hope not.
You're wrong on that one. I will tell you, I went to Trill Burgers in Houston.
About the fast food, not to cut you, the fast food chain. The reason why, though, Chick-fil-A is like that, most of the culture, because the condiments, it's a no limit amount. You can ask for whatever you want. Unlike other fast food chains that you're talking about, where people get disgruntled because they're tired of people asking them for extra condiments when you have to pay for it. That's their policy.
Wait, this tells us that, bro. This tells us that. I don't give a damn.
Some of them frustrated of having to because they've said it a million times.
I don't give a fuck.
I'm not making an excuse for them. I'm just saying that, some people get frustrated.
No, I get way different vibes, though, with Chick-fil-A. Like, Chick-fil-A, first of all,
they give you everything for free.
Okay, hold on. I've never seen, compared to the other fast food restaurants, they seem to be by far the most professional. They remind me of it's actually a place that's pretty popular with Mormons too, for whatever reason. Maybe as part of it is because the owner's Christian, but I would say that you see how they're dressed, you see how they greet you. It's very formal and polite. They'll go outside on their little iPads and they'll if there's a line and they just do. There's something about them. It's a lot different than others. They are.
Chipotle is like that too. Chipotle is like that.
Trill Burgers, and it opened up after some rapper or something in Houston. The line's always down the road,
1B opened that restaurant.
And you walk into the place, and it's like a shithole. It's unclean, and then when you go in there, the food's mediocre at best. Even the reviews are fucking bad, but I wanted to check it out because I saw the line, figured it must be fucking good. It wasn't, and I was like, man, for a burger, how do you fuck this up? How do you make McDonald's taste better than you? That should never happen, at least in fucking Texas.
I feel the same way about Jollibees. These niggas be acting crazy about Jollibee. I'm like, it's just fucking chicken, bro, and it's mediocre.
But see, to your
Jollibee's pretty decent.
About the culture, see, it's the same thing with stores. Like a Walmart versus a Target. You go on Walmart, it might be ghetto, they might have one or two lines open. You go on Target and feel peace.
He's lying about that.
He's right, yeah.
Oh, shit.
You're not scratching your car up over at Target or King every day.
I did notice that you're one of those
other fast food chains that are real nice too are like Chipotle. They're just no different than Chick-fil-A.
Do they have salmonella or some shit like that?
I don't know about all that.
I mean, that's always going to happen. These soft cheeses and shit.
There's a lot of other fast food places. Their customer service is just as good as Chick-fil-A.
But if I recall correctly, though, there's two things that make Target and both, I believe Chick-fil-A stand out. I think they had programs for people, I don't know, who are about to graduate college or just graduated. I forget what it is, but at Target and I think they also kind of go for a different pool of employees than like Walmart or.
Yeah, because they go for young. Target has a bunch of young employees, young pre-adults. My nephew was just working there over the summer.
I mean, that's good. It's putting niggas to work. That's good. Look, man, I grew up in the trenches as some of my other counterparts on the stage, and I'm not going to sit back and say every single place that I went to that was run by black people was fucking atrocious. I'm not going to say that. But the ones that are definitely stood the fuck out. Definitely stood the fuck out.
I think we all had good
you don't expect to get good service if you go to White Castle, you know what I mean? Yeah. You know that. So,
Thomas, there's a good place by me that it's called like Soul Food Kitchen or whatever. The fucking place is always empty, but when I go in there to eat, they make the best fucking the sandwiches. Like they just, I don't know what the fuck they put in that macaroni and cheese. It's fucking good, and I don't like mac and cheese. I fucking can't stand this shit. But they put it on a sandwich there, and I'm like, all right, can I get this to go? I come in 2-3 times a week, and they're fucking like, hey, what do you want today? And I tell them just to make whatever. They usually give me something. It's fucking fantastic, but they're always empty. And I'm like, how is this shitty burger place that's literally 2 blocks down the road fucking packed with shitty food, shitty customer service, overpriced, undersauced, like literally undersauced, like they can't cook it. and then you have this place over here that's fucking amazing, all black. Like there is not a white person, a Hispanic person in the fucking restaurant that's cooking, cleaning, or working the counter or being a waiter.
Marketing.
It's empty. It's fucking empty.
That's that marketing, Brad. Everybody is posting. People is literally going from one state to that state just to go there. So it's getting a lot of marketing, a lot of promotion, whereas that other place, it don't sound like it's getting a lot of.
Well, if you look at there's a place here. You guys can look it up called Keys. I think her name is Keys Loaded Kitchen, right here in Portland. And it's like a huge, it's like a soul food place. She literally gives you 10 pounds of fucking food, okay? And it's like she's all black, and it's the most professional, the most pleasant environment that you'll be in. It's very nice. You don't get the fuckery that comes there. Okay. Now again, I went there not too long ago. Actually, I took my mom there, and she had ran out of food, and a lady came up, and I was sitting there waiting on my order, and lady came up and she said, "Hey, it's my birthday." Blah blah. She said, "I'm sorry, we ran out of food." You ran out of food? What you mean you ran out of food, bitch? What did I? She didn't say that. I'm saying in my head, bitch. What did she say? What did she say? She ran out of fucking food. I can't believe this. It's my birthday. What am I going to do now? Go to McDonald's, bitch. There's a Wendy's down the street, okay? But again, she started going, she said, I was your fan. Because she girl ladies on Instagram that runs the place. I was your fan. I'm going to tell him that you are not, I'm going to tell him that you're not good. You're not a good person. You're not a good, probably going to deny me on your birthday. And I'm sitting back, I'm like, come on, man. This woman is over here trying to run a well-oiled establishment. She's been feeding her community. A lot of black people which is not a lot of them here in Portland anyways, but a lot of black people that know about her come in, they support her, et cetera, and not just whites. I mean, blacks, whites do as well. Asians and everybody else. Everybody was buying this woman's food. You know what I'm saying? And she came there herself and tried to assassinate this woman's character and tarnish her name. Okay? So again, you know, it's not just the establishments, it's the motherfuckers that frequent them as well.
Dude, you live in Portland? Like, I know.
No, I don't live in Portland. I would never wish that shit on my worst enemy. I mean, I'm in Lake Oswego, but I go there to eat from time to time.
Oh, okay. I have heard that's the home of the other white meat. That's like just a bunch of fat white bitches. Like, I've literally heard this my whole life.
Wait, Portland, Oregon?
Yes.
That's that pork meat. A lot of niggas like that.
That's the mecca. That's the mecca of snow bunnies.
So if you are into plump white snow bunnies, then I guess Oregon it is.
They do have the green and purple hair. I mean, you can go with like the Dr. Goddesses, the weaves and obesity, or you can go up and grab yourself.
Well, let me say this, Othello. Since there's not a lot of niggas out here, you're treated like a superstar even if you're broke. They don't care.
What's the
ratio? They don't care.
Can we get the numbers per capita?
Easy.
Of snow bunnies to mandingos.
There's barely any black people like that.
You walk into a bar, a gastropub, and I promise you'll leave with 5. You'll at least have enough snow bunnies. You'll look like Pablo Chacon when you get done. It'll be a whole white mountain you can climb onto of that body.
Yep, absolutely.
Hey, Thomas, have you been to Seattle before?
I haven't been to Seattle yet. Every time I say I'm going to go, I don't go. I always got something else, some other shit going on. But it's 3 hours fucking away. I might go this weekend, actually. Fuck.
Okay. I mean, it's not what it used to be, since 2020, but really since the early 2010s, honestly. Well,
I know they go whale watching in Seattle, right? They go whale watching.
Yeah, well,
so is that a white boy? Is that a white boy pastime?
I you might see some niggas out there watching whales. Shit, people like to see that.
So you go to a boxing gym in the SeaTac area?
No, not SeaTac. Up in Ballard. You ever heard of Ballard?
No.
Okay, it's
gonna do the regionals, the Golden Gloves regionals there, and then I know a couple of guys that fight pro out of there. So I was just curious.
Oh yeah.
Why can't you go up and go diving with me with like the sharks, and stuff like that? Go.
Nah, I'm good, bro. I'm good, bro.
Look,
I get in the water with the sharks.
I like Brad. I like nature. But I don't look. I like nature.
More to nature than the Discovery.
Look, Ray, Brad. Listen. Sharks ain't had dark meat in 400 years, nigga. I'm trying to keep it that way.
Luckily we don't have sharks. We just have orcas. But I don't know. Orcas are pretty mean.
Oh yeah, orcas will fuck you up.
There's never been a history of an attack on a human being with orcas.
Oh really?
Recently.
Oh, you're probably right about that.
Call them human.
Oh, they be fucking seals up. I know that. I just don't want to be one of them niggas.
Yeah, outside of captivity, they won't fuck you up, but so like in captivity, they might fuck you up.
Now, Thomas, the reason why I said that because you was talking about snow bunnies. I mean, if you want some snow bunnies, you should come up here, man.
Where you at, bro?
That's Seattle.
Oh, Seattle. Oh, yeah.
Oh, for you black men, all you have to do is hit the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Avoid going to Canada. Don't go to Alaska because you're gonna experience a whole new level of like.
Yeah, I live there, dude. It's horrible. Like what's really weird about Alaska is, and actually the stats back this up. What I thought was very weird when I was living up there is that it seemed like nearly all of the women that were by the time they're in their mid-20s had a child, and I was like, huh. And I did see what I would see a lot were very uneven matches, and that is like, in other words, a frumpy, overweight woman with a guy. You talk about even with some of the boxers and stuff up there, and it's like you could tell the guy if he was living in Arizona, it's unlikely to see that pairing. But there is like I don't even know that there's a shortage of women like there used to be, but there's like there is like I remember being back in Arizona, and it's just like you see attractive women everywhere, and it's just like, oh my god, this is like this. You'd be lucky to go like a month to see somebody like as attractive that just walks by you every couple of minutes when you're out.
Yeah, those Inuit girls though, man, they're beautiful up north. Like I'm telling you, you guys are sleeping on some of this stuff. That Pacific Northwest, those Inuit girls are fucking. Oh my god. They look great. I'm telling you, you're missing out.
Well, have you met like women from like the Aleutian Islands?
Yes, I have.
See, they're kind of. I thought they looked a little off for Native Americans, but they had, I'd say, attractive features. But I guess it's long story short, they were. A lot of them are the product of mixing with like the Dutch and Russians, because they would, the sailors, would stop there and I guess bang them and they'd have kids. But
yeah, I heard there's an era of depression when you start getting into Seattle, on the way up to Alaska. I don't know what it is, but
you said an era of depression?
No, an era of depression.
It's cloudy all the fucking time in the Pacific.
Oh yeah. No, people. I'll say this right. Up here, I mean, look, I certain cats will talk shit about how hard it is up here. It's not really hard as far as like the people are pretty nice overall, but people can act like stuck up people, man, up here a little bit. And it might be because of, when it comes to the fall time all the way to winter, winter going into spring, people act kind of funny. Up here, like summertime starts in June, not July. So, because we barely see any sunlight. So, but once the sunlight hits, I mean, look, I'm gonna be honest, man. People start doing shit. Because once with all the rain that happens between the fall and the winter, the plants are getting its nutrients from the rain and whatnot. So once it becomes sunny, it's a beautiful scenery. Because you're seeing nothing but green, but you're seeing the sunlight
twice a year. So don't lie. There's only 2 sunny days out of the year there. So don't lie.
Oh, we get some hot days here and there, but to us, 70 degrees is hot.
Do you live on the coast or?
No, I live in West Seattle. So Seattle's it's considered West Seattle. The coast is what is it? Squim.
So do you live within an hour of it?
No, I have to take a boat to get there.
Oh.
He's with that vampire group. He's all hoping to become either a werewolf or a vampire with that little teenage girl. What was that fucking series? Twilight. He wrote shitty books. Yeah, see, thank you. I knew you'd know it.
Man, look. Well, I have been hearing some reports of dogmen out here. Some dogs walking on hind legs in the deep forests out here. So maybe that might be something. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it was
I'm not going out
cool. I don't know. For some reason, the Pacific Northwest, it's kind of, there's something that feels homely about it. I don't know how to put my thumb on it, but even in Alaska, when it would get light at 11 o'clock in the morning and then the sun would go down at 3 p.m., I thought that was the coolest fucking shit ever. To have it be mostly night. And then the summer was also awesome because it's near the coast in Anchorage. The temperatures never really got that hot, and the sun was out almost all day, which I also thought was super cool. I don't know.
Well, I will say the weather up here, the weatherman will sit up here and tell you it's gonna rain. Sometimes there'll be some days where they'll get it completely wrong. They'll tell you it's gonna be raining heavy, showers pouring all the way to 11 p.m. and then it'll be sunny. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it varies. The weather up out here is kind of weird, but other times, once again, it's going to be overshot. It's going to be, it's going to be cloudy and whatnot. But I don't know. I think honestly, Seattle and Washington was much better in the 90s, in the 2000s, even in the early 2010s before, a lot of the political shit started to really ramp up out here. Well, he said before summer left. Shit, I'm gonna be honest, before 2016, I think before 2016 it was one of the places to be, man. People were coming up here in droves.
Nice. I went out there fishing and exploring and hiking, and it was beautiful then. And now it turned into Seattle. You can't even go down to Pike's Market and catch a fish these days. You know what I mean? You can't. You can't even go enjoy some of the more touristic reasons, why people went there, and the whole you don't have it anymore. It's gone. It disappeared. People wrecked it because
what happened? It doesn't exist.
No,
it just turned into a shit show. You have
them fucking riots. Well,
yeah.
Let me say this. I'll say this, before all that, it was declining. I'm not even gonna lie. The Macy's store that was there for 90 years, that closed down. It's actually the same area where I was teaching it, but that's another story. But point is, that I just, what it was in the 90s when, I don't know, I think part of it when the Sonics left, that a lot of business left along with them, the Seattle Sonics. That basketball team, that definitely hurt the city morally, all right? Because that was such a stable history for the city for a very long time. But there was just a lot of other things. A lot of the people, the politics up here, just a lot of stupid shit started happening. And the taxes and people, having to pay so much for apartments and housing and whatnot. It's just It's just not good business.
I know it's like
tore it up.
I know like Portland, Alaska's different. It's like very like I guess you could say more libertarian would be the best way to describe it. But like Portland, Seattle, you guys, especially during 2020, you guys had so much political turmoil. I mean, if you look at Portland and Seattle, there was like standoffs with the feds, and when you had like, what is it, Chaz in Seattle? I mean, these were almost all like exclusively like white lefties.
Yeah.
Like wreaking havoc.
You also have one major thing that people don't really look at. Microsoft's lawsuit, the antitrust lawsuit on Microsoft, cost Seattle the fucking, and basically all of Washington, including northern parts of Oregon, to like crumble economy. And then you had the .com era, which was, there was a lot of busts. You had Webvan, you had other economic policies that, like, Washington was on a rise. Like, it was the place to be in the 90s. The 2000s, it was hanging on. It had some cultural icons it was hanging on. A lot of, like, I would say,
Alice in Chains,
Yeah, Soho.
Seattle grunge, even like Dave Matthews Band, I think.
I don't think Dave Matthews Band's was good.
Gary.
No, I said grunge, and then even.
Like
No. I'm saying you had the Seattle grunge, but then you had bands like what the fuck is there? I was never a fan of them. No, the band I just named.
Dave Matthews.
Yeah, they were more like they had like jazz or blues inspired shit. They were weird.
Yeah, they had like a folk thing. Like culturally, it was rich in the early 2000s. Like it had it, but a lot of that disappeared because what came in were. I'm going to be honest, we're like fucking white suburban people from Soho district in New York City that left New York because it was declining. They were like, you know what, let's go trash out fucking Seattle and let's like just put coffee shops on every corner and we'll have sushi places and gastropubs and that's going to be the only thing we'll invest in the city. That only gets you so far so fast. Like it stops, it declines afterwards. But really what hurt it was Microsoft's lawsuit, the antitrust, Webvan, and a whole lot of that .com era, a lot of those businesses just up and left. Like they were able to. Like that Washington was the hub.
Oh, that's what happened? That's the reason why all businesses? Okay. Because I didn't look into it because I always thought Microsoft was always going to flourish because of, what's his name, Bill Gates, and then Steve Ballmer and whatnot, them people and whatnot, but I didn't know that's the reason why. That's the reason why.
The Microsoft antitrust. I don't think people realize how big an impact it had in that area. Like businesses that were part of that fixture, it cooled off. A lot of technology people started to move. This is how you end up with everybody moving to fucking California, leaving that area. Like Washington was set. Seattle was set to be Silicon Valley. It was set to be the premier hub. And then Microsoft cooled off. Webvan disappeared. Then you had layoffs going in the massive layoffs too. In like fucking 28,000 jobs. By like what was it? In the Puget Sound region, like they had massive layoffs, like a couple 100,000 layoffs overall. And then you had shit that's just been going on. Like Boeing's been fucking laying off people. Hires a small group, and then they fucking lay off 50,000. So I mean. Yeah, I mean, welcome to the trade wars with China. Like that was also another key thing is opening up and, hey, we're going to expand more to China. Like a lot of that economy basically fucked the Pacific Northwest. So now you guys are back to fishing and logging. That's and coffee.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, you talk about all them icons we had. Like, I'm going to be honest, in the 90s as a kid, like we were spoiled with so many sports icons, Ken Griffey Jr., Alex Rodriguez, Randy Johnson, and then you also had I think we also had Sean Kidd, Gary Payton in the 90s, with the Sonics. I mean, we were so spoiled, with icons. I mean, of course, people know about Sir Mix-a-Lot and whatnot, and so many other different individuals. Like once again, Pearl Jam. What's old dude's name that died? Alice in Chains.
Yeah.
Bruce Lee's Rage is up here.
Yeah, they all left because they couldn't support the Sonics left. It wasn't because they wanted to leave. It was because economically there was no reason to stay. They weren't making money. They had to leave. So that's what happened with so many like businesses there that were trying to say, hey, there's this whole economy that's developing in the Pacific Northwest. And it would have been beneficial. Like, fuck, you had Northern California, you had Washington, you had Oregon, and it was even going out to some other states. But that trifecta right there would have been amazing for those people because it was money. It was rolling in. It was about to kick off. And then the government said, hey, we want to do an antitrust thing. And, you had politicians say, hey, we want to cool this off a little bit because we don't want you to have it. And literally just all they did was shipped it over to California. California took your money. You guys should be pissed at California. You should be like, fuck you, hoes. I hope you get shot. I hope every wildfire burns all the shit you have down. You deserve Gavin Newsom. You deserve transgenders teaching your kids how to be gay. You deserve all that shit. You should be fucking furious because California fucked you guys and then benefited through the federal government. You should be pissed at Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Mitch McConnell. You can be pissed at all of them. But they fucked you guys over. Oregon and Washington got fucked to benefit California's electoral vote process.
Yeah, the politicians really, what they really did do a number on this city too. I mean, and not just the city, the state, and like you said, throughout the great Northwest in general, and just a lot of other things like you were speaking on. It's just, man, like, never gonna get those days back. I mean, and once again, a lot of it, like I'm gonna say there's just one more thing on that. Downtown needs to be a hot spot for tourist attraction, for various reasons. That number since has gone down, especially since 2020 when all them riots happened, and there was that mass exodus of cops leaving, like I think 1,100 some cops leaving the Seattle Police Department. Plus they had the CHOP district. Or not, my bad. The
autonomous zone.
Yeah. Yeah, the autonomous zone where, I think one of them kids, like, when I was out teaching, one of them people came up and told me that, yeah, man, like one of our friends got stabbed up there, and the people that were in the CHOP zone were blocking the ambulance from coming in and giving them medical attention. And, the city allowed that shit to happen. What's that fucking faggot? His name, I forget that dude's name, the governor, Jay Inslee, I think his name is. He was the one that allowed all this shit to happen. So.
Yeah, you should, like I said, you should be mad. Economically, from the 90s onward, someone decided, Clayton on up, California needed to be a stranglehold politically. I still think I have issues over the antitrust suit with Microsoft. I get some parts of it, but I think it could have been done a little differently. But, it is what it is. They lost. They cooled off, and they expanded globally, and then they started outsourcing massively, and then pushed for legislation to outsource. And in the end, that one lawsuit, like, no one bothers to look at it and say, what were the lasting impacts? And you have a whole bunch of blue-haired, septum nose pierced theory, obese white women running around saying, hey, I will suck any guy's dick as long as you have a job. And you're good. Now you have. Welcome, Portland.
Yeah.
They're deranged too. Like, these white women are deranged, bro. They need to be locked the fuck up.
Dude, the black women in Portland need to be locked up right into the fuck, dude?
Damn, you know what?
I literally walked it down Portland. I was going to the USI agency to sit there and work on a business meeting, and I was just like, I'm gonna go out for dinner. I stop off. By the time I left, I had, I don't know, 5 or 6 fucking women like trying to get me. They were trying to give me their Snapchat, their Instagram, like all this. I was like, dude, I'm not in. Like, no, we're good, man. I'm not gonna come back out here ever again. I hope not until. Like, all of you are gone. People living in parks, fuck that. Nope, we're good. Like, you have a whole problem out there.
Yeah, it's rough out here in these streets.
Hey, like I said, Thomas, I mean, it's not look, I'm not saying it's what it used to be, but you're looking for a snow bunny as a wife, man. Come out here, man.
Yeah, it
might be a little better.
I got a trip to Poland coming up, but I got you, my man.
What's going on? Like, why can't you call black women bitches? Like, some of them are direct fucking cunts.
Oh, of course, absolutely.
Oh, man, they're like beyond bitch. Like, you're bitchzilla. Like, I don't give a fuck. Half of you on this app are cuntosauruses to the nth degree. You should have been in the extinction age. Like, I can't believe that you think somehow that you're a queen when you're fucking single, you have kids from different baby daddies, and you're on EBT screaming about, well, black men aren't protecting me. How the fuck would they protect you? You don't offer them anything of value. And then you're like, oh, white men are all oppressing me. Like, why is it that you can't call a black woman bitch? Like, fuck that, all right? You're a twat waffle cunt. How's that? Does that one bother you better?
Wait, hold up. But my thing is, though, look, because obviously there's somebody in the chat that has that has an issue with what's being said. But look, I'm gonna just say this, man. Like, women, listen, all women women are beautiful creatures, no doubt about it. But there's a large sum of them in all communities that are, it's just what it is, that are bitches. And it doesn't matter if it's a black bitch, a white bitch, an Asian bitch. They all act like bitches to me, man. Like the ones that are overly, that are the ones that are degenerate for that matter. And if the shoe fits, wear it. You know what? So you call a black bitch a black bitch. I don't give a fuck.
Wait. Let me just say this. They're trying to protect us facts. It's always those fat ones that are always like fucking the worst, the most outspoken. I promise you, Dr. Goddess is a 300-pound fucking hasn't seen her tits over a fold in fucking 10 years. But somehow or another, needs to be free.
I'm disgusted.
But no, think of it, Brad. But think of this though. See, and this is what I don't like. This is what I don't like, and I will agree with y'all on this part. It's like you have. It's almost like they have like tunnel vision, right? And they hear what they want to hear, right? You can literally see, like, because I guess the individual in the chat is a prime example. You hear you talking about, oh man, you heard them talk bad about the black woman. Oh, bitch, I just called a certain white, fat, 350-pound white woman that was on here a morbidly obese bitch. But see, you have selective outrage.
Oh, wait, invite Dr. Goddess to the stage. I don't like when we hiding behind walls and throwing stones, bro. Like, nah,
she don't want to smoke. Oh, there she goes.
Yeah, let's talk about it. What's going on?
Oh, see, welcome, Dr. Goddess. Everybody give her a hand. Welcome to the stage.
Okay. Brad doesn't need to say anything. I don't really care about the racism in the room because I've heard all this before. I'm just disappointed in you black men for co-signing it. And that's the whole thing. Brad does not know anything about me. He doesn't know what I look like. And even if I were the description that he stated, it doesn't mean that I don't deserve respect. Because, I definitely have aunties, cousins and so on and so forth. They might be overweight, and I guess they would be, right? Because we're literally poisoning people in the United States, and especially if you live in the hood. You live in food deserts, you're surrounded by fast food stores, and you don't have access to a lot of fresh vegetables. You can't afford Whole Foods. I mean, I could go down the list. There's real reasons why people are obese. So I'm not going to, I'm just not going to co-sign his foolishness. And also, I'm well traveled. So, Brad, I've been to West Virginia. I've been to where poor whites are struggling and where they are obese. And they experience some of the same things that we do in our community. So I really thought that this might be an intelligent discussion, and it wasn't. It just ended up being a racist discussion. And I guess I just did not expect for the black men to co-sign the bullshit. That is what I'm upset about.
Okay. First of all, let me say this. First of all, Dr. Goss, I appreciate you coming on stage and giving that eloquent soliloquy. Now, with that being said, a couple of things I want to touch on. First of all, I will say this. I don't think a person that is not capable of being able to control what goes in their mouth deserves respect, because they can't even respect their own bodies. That's number one. Number two, when it comes to the aspect of the racism, I am quite curious because I understand this term is thrown around very constantly, especially by some of the individuals in my community. And again, no disrespect. I just want to know what you prescribe as racism, because people had opinions on stage, and I understand there's multiple alleged definitions of racism, especially within the communities. But everything that I've heard on the stage since I've been in here, okay, would not equate to racism. Okay, I don't think anybody in here despises another race because they are another race.
Well, to be more specific, Thomas, you were saying us defending or standing inside by things being alleged towards black women. So not even racism. You just said a black woman not being disrespected, and I guess we're not fighting back or either.
I mean, listen,
No, it's the entire black community. Because I sat here and I listened to you all. I listened to you all the way that you talked about the black community. I listened to you all stereotype your own communities. And like I said, I expect this from people like Brad and Pepe and the racists. I don't expect it from you all. That's my
Could you elaborate on the stereotypes, though?
I've listened to this troglodyte kind of like bring my name out multiple times. So
well, you're the one that called me out.
I'll bring it out all the time because you say it in the chat. Now you got your ass backed up in history. Because I remember where you're from. You're from when Rashonda and Dira, Gerard, and myself, you decided to come on and do this. I'm the queen of Black Twitter. I can set my minions free. I remember your dumbass from those days. And you walked around Clubhouse thinking you were all this in a bag of chips. And you got your ass packed up and handed off. And then you sell yourself off as I'm all the racism. And here's the thing, you're not fucking oppressed. You're not anything special to look at. You're not attractive. You are obese. By any definition of the word, you have problems fitting through a door because we've seen what you look like. You can Google yourself on that.
No, you have not.
And so, and then furthermore, you brought it up that I don't fucking. Brad, you expect it because I'm racist. I call out white people, I call out Hispanic, I call out Asians, but you shut your mouth on that one. You stay silent on that shit. You stay silent on that shit because you don't have a problem. And because you're weave-wearing fucking wannabe ass is sitting there going, I feel offended because I'm a queen, which means you're queen of fucking nothing. You're queen of Ak. You're queen of nothing. You have nothing to offer, except that's why you're single. That's why you're trying to project on the black men that they need to sit there and go and have this whole big thing. They got to stand up for your dumb ass. They don't. No man has to stand up for you. You know what? In fact, I know a lot of men that will just tell you to go fuck yourself and leave.
This is what I'm saying.
Who's going to do it? No one's coming at me except you. You're the only one flapping. You're wannabe cockdagglers on it. So you can't fucking.
Well, let me say this, Brad.
So now you get the smoke, and now you're crying. Now you're like, black man, protect me. I'm rude. I'm fat. I need to be heard. I'm Rosie O'Donnell, and black man, I need to be heard. Please! I'm Pocahontas. I'm Elizabeth Warren. Stand with the people.
I never came on stage this way, right? But you see how he chose to characterize
you chose to disrespect me, right? So you don't need to talk. You didn't need to talk while I was talking. So you continue. You needed to be the queen of fucking there and be your victim list. So now you get it. And I don't really care. I don't give a flying fuck because you ran your mouth when I was actually trying to speak. And if you want to mute up, put that fucking ho-ho down your gullet.
Oh my gosh,
I can tell you exactly.
All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to have a reset. I do want guys to speak. I appreciate you. Input, Brad. Let her respond because I want to give her a chance to
just as long as I get to respond because she can't shut her fucking mouth. That Teletubby has not actually shut up since she came up.
All right, Brad, chill out for me. So what we're going to do is going to be Thomas, me, then you after her. Well, her first, then Thomas, then me, then you. Go ahead, Dr. Guys.
Thank you. So, for the record, I listened to the entire conversation. I was listening to you all talk about the different communities, the causes of crime, whether or not it was poverty, was it culture, and when people like Norm, Pepe, and others said, no, it's just culture. It was a white man, not Brad, of course, who was stressing poverty and tried to give you all an example around Bangladesh, India. And he was saying, even though there's different causes and cultural norms that poverty is the consistent factor. Cornel West also, he has scholarship on this, that anywhere in the world, and it doesn't even matter who the people are, if they're white, black, Asian, etc., poverty is going to be on the rise. It is the single primary causation of crime. So for you all to sit here and co-sign their bullshit about culture is false. Like first of all, the one main thing we should do is talk about American culture. American culture, mainstream American culture is exceptionally violent. Maybe if we didn't feed our children with this constant stream of violence and degradation, and yes, I am including hip hop in that, which is primarily produced by white men. And even the people that you've heard this over and over again, and I'm specifically talking to the black men, especially those who said they grew up in the hood. The trenches, hood, whatever. You know that you experienced rappers who were rapping about positive things, rapping about so-called corny things, rapping about food, games, fun, all the different things that we do in our respective communities. But you've also heard many of these rappers say that when they took their lyrics to these music producers, the music producers said, no. We got to change this up. No. The people don't want that. So they're creating culture while they're trying to make an excuse that this is what the people want. And what I expect, I don't expect shit from dumbass Brad. What I expect from you all, especially who grew up in the trenches, in the hood, in the so-called ghetto, which we know was created by redlining, first and foremost, concentrated poverty, public housing, lack of resources. I expect you all to at least give balance and context to the situation. And you didn't. You just sat there laughing and then co-signing. And then you, like I said in the chat, you didn't bring up communities in Charlotte, in Atlanta, even in Meridian, Mississippi. Like, you didn't bring up any of these towns and places and neighborhoods that have thriving black businesses, well-mannered people, good customer service. Like, I'm not denying the issues that are in the hood sometimes, but those issues are across the country, unless you've never met a rude white person at any of these fast food restaurants. Like, so I'm just sitting here, like, I don't expect for you all to allow the stereotypes perpetuated on this stage, but you did, and I'm disappointed. And then to let people call black women bitches on the stage, and you heard Brad call me out my name, like, it's unacceptable. That's why I'm only speaking to you all, because it's unacceptable.
Okay, listen, Ms. Guidance, I appreciate your submission. First of all, let me just say I appreciate Pepe and Free for allowing this space for us to have this dialogue. And I'm going to do my best to respond to Ms. Guidance's point, because I do believe she is sincere in what she's espousing. So I'm going to approach this in good faith. First and foremost, let me start with my guy, Brad. I've known Brad for quite some time here. He is also friends with Sig and KP, some of the blackest motherfuckers on this app. Now, with that being said, I understand that their politics may not be in line with what some may agree is what is the aspect of, or the essence of being a black man, which I think is problematic within itself. But again, everything that I've seen of Brad within the confines of this social media chasm, I have not seen the aspects or influence of racism. And the reason I say that with a straight face is because I understand what real racism is. I see individuals that have a detest for the idea of a black person or blackness. They despise them. They want them dead. There are actually civil wars within some of these communities about whether or not it's Christian or not to hate black people. Okay? So again, even if you want to go to the aspects of some of these other creators that may fall in line to what you're saying, Brad respectfully does not fall into that line. Now, he may say things that you may like, and this is one of the things that I have an issue with when it comes to the aspect of having certain conversations with certain individuals. And I say this respectfully, they get really emotional because they don't like hearing certain things come from the other side or the other group of ethnicity or other race. They don't like hearing certain things because they say it's not their business or they don't have the lived experience to comment. And I think that's disingenuous because if there's a problem, there's a problem, regardless of who is highlighting it. If we sit back and say, well, this is a problem and only Black folks should focus on this problem because within the Black community, we alienate ourselves, and we don't. And again, I don't want to get into the whole nuance of that because it will take me a little bit off topic. But I'm trying to cover this as quickly as I can. When it comes to the brothers on stage, some of them I know, some of them I don't. These individuals I've been in rooms with. I've been in every single room they've been in, but the ones that I've been in rooms with them, I have not again heard racial or quote unquote stereotype. Now I've heard trolling. We've been on here, we'll goof around, and again, if you've been in enough rooms with us, every ethnicity has gotten like fucking dragged. Whether it's Asians, I get on white women constantly. I get on white men constantly about how they allow their women to sit back there and put them in these goofy ass situations, okay? When they're the ones that are running the fucking country. But anyways, we get on Hispanic individuals as well. But it's only when we get on our own culture, it seems like people get really offended because these same individuals, when they come in the room, they hear us talking crazy about other people, they have nothing to say. It's as quiet as a rat pissing on cotton. They have nothing to say. And guess we all joke around sometimes and say wild shit and unhinged shit. This is a social media app and people are contentious for the sake of being contentious. I've understood that. I don't take any of this shit seriously. I don't take social media seriously because I know the vast majority of it is fabricated and motherfuckers living vicariously through other motherfuckers. I understand that. It's meaningless in the wider scheme of things outside of this social media bubble. So I don't get, even when I'm on stage with someone that I do believe may harbor racist tendencies or thoughts, I don't get pressed. I don't get pressed. He has no power or she has no power. It's a social media app, okay? They can't control what I'm able to produce. Now, again, I'll land here and get free to mic. When we have these type of conversations, we have conversations about stereotypes, et cetera, and so forth. There's nothing wrong with highlighting stereotypes and talking about a specific problem. Because stereotypes are born from what? They may be exaggerated, but they're born from seeing certain patterns within certain communities. Okay? Whether they're wrong or whether they're right, they exist for a reason. So again, I'm not justifying them. I'm just pointing out the obvious. Okay? I love Black women. Even I come in here and I salute my snow bunnies and my macadamian Asian cookies. Okay? Salute. But with that being said, I love my Black women. That's why I always find it funny because I have this picture up from my here. I have this picture up for a reason. And it's because the person that I was speaking to made a comment, and I put this picture up and I haven't taken it down simply for that reason. And every time I go into a Black room, it gets so much attention because they believe I only date white women. It's very far from the truth. I have a very nuanced point of view on a lot of things. And I think if people that hear a lot of this stuff in these rooms take a lot of that into consideration, that is not that deep. And if you're curious, come up here and have a conversation. Ask us what we really think and what our point of view is, and then we can keep it pushing. I'll end it.
Yeah, that is actually perfect because I was going to pick up literally on that point. You know, you came in with a lot of assumptions that while we stand by, let that Bay Brand talk a certain way, and the best thing to do is see what we believe and why we believe what we believe. One, we're not hypersensitive, just in general. This room, this space, I mean, to be here automatically kind of deem that because you're familiar with any other people in this space, we have a high tolerance for things that we may not disagree with and things that's considered offensive. So that's that. The secondly, we also agree with some of the sentiments expressed by the people. So when they saying certain things, it's not like it's just them saying shit to us. It's like we all in somewhat of agreement with some of the stuff that's being said, and it's not isolated to Black women. It's relegated to deviant behavior. So we would call certain groups bitches or assholes or criminal, whatever the fuck term you want to use. But it's based on that, okay? So just because black women have a stereotype on them, it doesn't mean that they get to escape being held accountable essentially because they're black women. I'm a black man related to black women, but if the shoe fits, it's gonna be applied. That's just what's gonna happen. And another note, you're a black woman, you're in this space, you're allowed to talk and interact with everybody. You can defend yourself. I think you're wise enough and capable enough to talk and express yourself. And we get quiet and we'll listen to you. And that's what it's about, having a good conversation, see what we can, see eye to eye. And at the end of the day, at the very least, we'll just at least have a conversation. We may not agree, but we'll at least get to see where each other stand. So that's that. As far as the claims about the black community, what's going on with the bullshit that we deal with every day, like the link that's tied into, for the people that's in the room who haven't checked out the link, this kind of room was started off by the black guy who randomly stabbed some white woman. We talk about the crimes and issues in our community. Some crimes can be drawn to poverty. Some, not all, and I would say not even most. But crimes like rape and murder and violence, I cannot attribute that to crime, to poverty. I think that's a load of bullshit. And I know a lot of people, a lot of researchers like to say that. I think they do that because they're scared to say the truth. The truth is culture, and black people have a very shitty culture in America. Black Americans particularly. When you see other blacks, and I don't know if you said when we first started this, other blacks who come from other cultures do not come here doing the same bullshit that black Americans do, okay? And they're so on par with trying to be with American culture and get ahead, not black American culture, just American culture, that black Americans antagonize them. That's why we have this FBA, ADOS bullshit. We're trying to say that others are tethered or some stupid shit because they don't align with the fuck shit we align with. They come in with an agenda to have a better life and an easy life. So that's why they tend to do better than black Americans, because we have a similar goal, but we just go about it differently. Okay? And we think fast, easy money is the way to go. So whether it's doing about crime, fraud, murder, whatever the fuck case may be, we think it's acceptable. We embellish this based on a lot of our music. Hip hop culture is synonymous with black culture. A lot of young black people think the fast, easy crime life is the way to go, and it's perfectly okay, and that's a problem. Not other cultures really take on that except with us. Like, we not only we preach it, we live it. And I'm gonna let this guy be long with it. But the bottom line is, we like to see shit for what it is. I can draw a correlation to a culture and a crime more so than I can draw it from white supremacy and history dealing with the status of black people today. Because our ancestors, recent ancestors, they weren't crime driven. We grew up in poverty, like you said. Some of us grew up in the trenches, the hood, and we were taught to not steal, to not take people's shit, to not just beat somebody up because it was fun or we could get away with it. We was taught to be accountable for what we fucking did, and we was impoverished. Okay, and then we had an easier life that didn't land us in jail, and without a criminal record, we could actually make it up the ladder in society, and a lot of us did. Because we got relatives who grew up in the same household with the same education, with the same options, and they chose to do some fuck shit, and some of us chose to do the other shit. And they're where they are, and we are where we are. So I'll land on that, but you have to start being more critical, because if you stereotype us like you think we're doing, then you're going to end up in the same position that you thought we was at when you addressed us. Go ahead.
Can I respond to you?
Can I say something real quick? Address some.
Wait, hold on. Real quick. Yeah, hold real quickly. I want to say, Blake, America, I sent you several invites, brother. Leave the room, come back and try to get up. I've been trying for a while. Go ahead, whoever.
Yeah, free. Can I respond to you?
No, you can wait till I'm done.
No,
yeah, let Brad go. Fair enough, yeah, but let Brad go. I did give a time out to me.
Brad was, he was in the last thing.
This is like part and parcel of the problem. There are people like Dr. Goddess out there that believe because she's black that she needs special treatment because of her skin color. It's in there. It's almost as bad as the white fucking KKK members who are fucking inbreded, who fuck their own grandpas and become their own best friends and sisters. Like, I have no tolerance for this, like this bullshit that you want to do, because to be fair to the white supremacists, there is this whole black racist thing. There's this reverse racism of black supremacy thing where we were once kings. We built fucking everything in America. It wouldn't exist without it. And you have no idea about their own history. And you fucking romanticize the bullshit. And then you go, I am so important. I need to be heard before anybody else. And white people cannot tell me how to live in this country. They can't make laws, and all they do is want to oppress me. And that's not fucking true. Maybe that was true. Maybe 1960s, 50s, I'll give you. Maybe even post the 70s. I'll give you half of the 70s. But really, after the 80s, when everybody was doing coke and fucking heroin and then having drive-bys in every neighborhood, I'm kind of like, I'm done with it. Like, I really am done with it. And so is the rest of America. They're not. It's time to move on. It's time to grow up. And I'm sorry that you want to cling to something in the past, that you want to stereotype all black people to be downtrodden, to not be able to uplift. You want to hold black men accountable because they don't vote the way you want to. We saw that with the Kamala Harris shit. I'm sorry that black women don't get uplifted when they're nothing more than screaming at black men. And it's odd. It's always the single women that are fucking left at the altar. No one wants to be married to them, and they're the ones that are screaming the most. And this happens in the white community too. It's always the white fucking Karens, and you have the black fucking, I don't know what you call them, Beatrices. I don't know what you call them in the black community, but you have those Karens too. And I'm like, why are we listening to that? That goes back to my earlier point. We shouldn't be listening to people like Dr. Goddess. We shouldn't be listening to the Martin Luther Queens. We shouldn't be listening to the KKK or whatever that guy fucking idiot is. Hopefully he's dying of syphilis. Like, we shouldn't be listening to any of these people anymore in terms of society. We should just be removing them and saying, you know what? No, we're done. Like, stay in your lane, because you really aren't educating anybody. You're not educated. You just want to preach a spin, and then you want to cry about it. And when someone like me who comes up and says, fuck that narrative, like, let's change the narrative. It's 2025. I can't live in the past. And no, I'm not going to pay you reparations. No, I'm not going to apologize for slavery. I had nothing to do with that shit. I didn't oppress anybody in this world. I didn't fucking do any of that shit. So spare me with your whole fucking, well, black women need to be protected at all costs versus every other demographic. If I was going to do that game, you would still fucking lose in the end. It's the most retarded shit I've ever heard, that you, of all the women, just because someone speaks on black women, you get really offended. But you had no problem in the chats earlier talking about white people as a whole, as a monolith across all of those. You went off on that shit, and you're the biggest fucking hypocrite on this app, or at least this stage today.
So Free, is it my turn?
Yeah, can I say something real quick? Just real briefly,
yeah.
Because
and were you the first person who spoke? Were you the first person who spoke?
It's actually on Goddess, but Goddess, you want to yield to
you can go. I just wanted to put it in order who spoke, because I thought it was Free, and then I realized it wasn't Free who spoke first.
Yeah, it was right. Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to briefly say this, Dr. Goddess. Based off what you were saying in the chat, one thing that people can't have is cognitive dissonance, and it's no disrespect, but you can't sit up here and cling on to one situation of someone talking about black women when there were a whole bunch of other demographics being talked about prior to that subject being brought up. Because there was white women that were being brought up. There was white women on stage that were being cursed out at one particular point or another. So the whole point that I'm addressing to you is that, because you're going after the fact that people are saying things about black women and whatnot, or having disparaging comments about the black community, specifically a certain wrong, does not mean that they're talking about the entirety of the black community, or speaking of all black women. It's just that there was a certain topic that was brought up that was being brought up towards a certain particular group of black women, which is a large part of the community that people were just talking about, and people universally agreed on, just like people universally agreed on certain white people doing certain things. And other demographics, I think East Indian people were being brought up. All right, so, or even Jews were being brought up. So the point I'm getting at is that when you have to hear the whole entire conversation and situation with people and their takes, and everybody has their different takes up here, right? So when you hear certain things, you have to hear the entirety of everything to actually give a full judgment of something. Because if you just cherry pick one aspect of somebody's conversation, sensationalize it to whatever you're feeling at the time, that's not the best, that's not the most conducive way of judging a situation. So that's all I'm gonna say.
All right, well, thank you. I was trying to remember everything that Free said, and you So I'll go backwards. So first of all, again, I'm talking to the black men on stage because I really don't give a fuck what Brad thinks about anything. Okay. Brad is a stone cold racist, so I don't give a fuck what y'all say. That man is racist to the core. Just because he's not the white domestic terrorist type of racist that became the number one threat to American democracy on the FBI list doesn't mean he's not a fucking racist. Okay, so I'm not speaking to him. I don't give a fuck what he says. What you said, and y'all keep going to the black woman. I am offended by the way that black women have been talked about in this room and by you all and what you've allowed. But again, I started off with the entire black community because I do love black men and I do love black women and I do love the black community. I also love other parts of humanity. However, I can see plainly how things are. So these people are going to sit up here and criticize the black community. I'm laughing because you heard racist Brad. That's going to be his nickname from now on. You heard racist Brad give enough credit to white racism and the deleterious effect that white racism has had on the black community, and he stops at the 1980s. He stops at 1980s. No, you don't get it. You don't get the liberty to stop at 1980s when crack was introduced into our community in the 1980s. We survived the crack era and barely, along with the rise in the prison industrial complex and for-profit prisons. So you don't get like I mean, I know that y'all were just waiting, y'all were giving everybody the opportunity to speak. But from now on, since I'm not really gonna be here, when these motherfuckers bring up shit like that, you have to check them. Don't let this racist ass white revisionist history continue to exist. Crack devastated our communities. And when you talk about black men who, this is for free, but this is for all of you. When Free talked about, well, black men, they think that they only want fast money. They only want quick money. Then I'm going to bring up Nigeria as well. The reason why a lot of people think that is because when we go the legitimate route, we have been sabotaged. I mean, let's not deny the very clear racism that has existed. Ida B. Wells' friend Thomas they were thriving during Reconstruction, at least very happy that slavery was over, and said, okay, well, shit, everybody, we're just going to get educated. We're going to find our families. We're going to put our money in the Freedmen's Bank, which white people stole, by the way. And then they appointed Frederick Douglass in the last 2 months of the existence of the Freedmen's Bank to make it look like it was black incompetence as to why the bank went down. They said, okay, we're going to do our best, okay? Thomas owned a grocery store right across the street from a white man. And hey, this is supposed to be capitalist. You're supposed to be allowed to have competition. But Thomas did something that the white man didn't do, and Thomas allowed for layaways and paying later because he knew that you're dealing with poor people. They only get paid a certain amount of time. They may not always have the cash here. All of that to say, he knew his customer, if you want to say that. Were they all black? Sure. But at the end of the day, just like some of you have said in the past about just somebody doing, I think it was Sig, just doing good business, whether you're black or not, he did good business. They accused Thomas of raping a white woman and they lynched him. Everybody knew that Thomas did not rape anybody. This is part of the reason why Ida B. Wells said, and I'm just summarizing all the history here, she said, if I could grab my people and fly away, I would. Tell my people to go west. There is no justice here. That is part of what started the big, the smaller migration to the west. The first one was the northern migration, but that's what started that smaller migration to the west, and that's the third group of people that ended up in Tulsa. You already know what happened in Tulsa, and there are many other Tulsas. Tulsa was just the big one. So it's just like we're playing games. I'm not going to let anybody, black, white, or other, play games with our history. We create the black businesses, and there's always sabotage. What we want is for white people to leave us the fuck alone.
And for Sally back to Africa.
Shut up.
Or what?
Oh, let her land.
You see, he can't keep off the mic.
You got you. You stop. Go ahead.
Racist. So what we want, is to be left the fuck alone. Every single time. It is either systemic racism, it's the lack of loans, it is outright violence. It's all of these things as to why we've been under attack. Even most recently, what is it? The Freedom Fund that was created by Black women to give. What was it? I think it's only 5 or 10 women of color. It wasn't just Black women. It was Black women, but it wasn't just Black women. Lover, you stay on mute, motherfucker. Okay. So even that, we could not come together and pool our money to allow for 10 women of color to get scholarships to do work in Silicon Valley, which provides less than 2% of Black businesses, which includes the Nigerians you were talking about, Free. Like, let's not play games, because I do know what you're talking about, and yes, I do want to. Now we have to reprogram, these young people, and especially these young Black men. But at the same time, let's not pretend that we didn't have role models and setups and businesses and thriving, and that we were literally attacked, and not by other Black people.
Well, let me bust the bubble.
Wait.
She's almost done. Yeah. So
and the crack era definitely devastated our communities. And so the last piece I want to respond to, because I don't remember everything everybody said, but be quiet. The last thing that I want to respond to is be quiet, lover. Stay on fucking.
I said let the barren woman speak. I was trying to make her.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever you want to call me, shut the fuck up.
Lover, shut the fuck up. Stop doing that.
So, Free, you talked about other people coming from other cultures and that they come from poverty and they don't do the same thing. You cannot compare the two. First of all, comparing people, would you please shut the fuck up, hug?
She's the same Black woman that talks shit about Black.
Lover, shut the fuck up. You always do that.
Guys, 60 seconds on Goddess. If you could wrap it up, guys. I don't want to rush you or whatever, but I think you're probably. Yeah, I feel you are, and I appreciate it. Go.
Yeah. So I'm just saying that a lot of the Nigerians that come over here, in particular, if you come from a community where your family is not constantly under attack, you're practicing your culture openly. I can't even tell you how many festivals, and I mean, it just goes on, right? And you end up with a stronger family foundation. I'm not saying that there's no remnants of colonialism or corruption. I'm aware of that. But I'm just saying that if you come from be quiet. If you come from an all-Black space, and then you arrive here with your degrees, because most of them come with their degrees. It is the equivalent of you're measuring people like they come they're from a charter. Would you shut the fuck up? It's like choosing people for a charter school. If you choose the best students, of course you're going to have high scores, and of course you're going to have the best grades, and you're going to demonstrate. Y'all are so, if you hug and love her, y'all are so immature. Don't be like racist Brad. So you're going to have the higher scores. But if you are in a public school and you have to include everybody, the scores are going to be lower. That's what happens.
Okay. Let's chill.
That's what.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, but this shit is taking a long time.
No, I think it's just fine. I think she's finished. Was that it? Got
I'm just saying, that's what's happening with the.
I guess she explained herself.
And I'm not arguing.
Fully educated.
Hold on, time out. We're gonna get back around to it. Who was next in the queue?
1 second. Sig is left. Sig is next, bro. Chill out, hug. Sig is next.
Okay, Sig was next. All right, Sig. It was Sig, Lover, Brad, then Trapping Up.
Yeah, I mean, this is why the black community is having an issue. This is the same bullshit rhetoric that's being taught to black kids, and that's why our black children are having such a hard time out here. I mean, you have a right to think what you want to think, Dr. Goddess, and have your opinion, but hey, them days of protect black women just because they're black women, them days are over with, man. Nobody's on that bullshit anymore. Black men are waking up, and we're realizing that the world is bigger than race. There's bigger problems. And I get it, the women are so involved with that thought process because y'all ain't got enough shit to do. That's why. Y'all got too much downtime in your day, so this is why y'all think about this dumb shit. Men, we ain't got time for this bullshit. We understand there's bigger fish to fry, and there's actual solutions to the problem that actually make sense and aren't going to set us back. So them days are over with, Dr. Goddess. Sorry you didn't get the memo, but yeah, nobody's on that shit anymore.
What did I say that was incorrect, see?
As far as protecting black women, you brought up in the beginning of your monologue, you brought up the fact that people are on stage talking about black women and we just let them.
That didn't happen?
Who cares? Who cares? People have a right to say what they want and think what they want and have whatever opinions that they want, Dr. Goddess.
Okay, so people can be on stage calling black women bitches and y'all just fine with it.
Yeah, okay. Because guess what?
Thank you.
Because most of y'all... Guess what?
Whatever,
it's called mental insanity to get your mind so wrapped up in what strangers on the internet are saying and trying to police and control and narrate the fucking tone of the conversation, Dr. Goddess. That's called mental insanity. So
did I call any of you names?
Who did I call a name?
No, did I call any of you names?
Why are you asking that question? What does that have to do with anything we're talking about?
Because tone and respect or whatever, it can be brought into a conversation. I don't understand why white men are up here talking about black bitches and y'all are just silent.
Because they have a First Amendment right to talk about whatever the fuck they want to talk about.
And so
if you think right, that's why I'm not the one complaining about other people's free speech. You are. You're the one that has a problem with it, not me. I'm trying to help you out here to maybe give you a little bit of mental clarity and a little mental peace. That if you spend all your time trying to tone police and chase people over what they say or what they think or how they feel about something, you're going to drive yourself nuts, for one. It's not mentally healthy to be like that. Point number 2, Dr. Goddess, is that it's a very low IQ way of thinking, and this is why we're having the problems we have in the black community, because there are other people who are from the outside looking in, and they see viable solutions. It's retarded as fuck to cut people off simply because of the color of their skin or what's between their legs or whatever the case is when they have viable solutions to problems in your community. You should be open ears to anybody that's bringing forth any type of solution to help you thrive, sustain, and move forward in a better condition.
Who said I was cutting anybody off?
What are you talking about?
Like you said, we should be open to anybody.
Well, you're doing it right now. We just all have to shut the fuck up.
Trap, please be quiet. Trap,
no, you and your fucking cuddling of language and your fucking trauma dumping and the white man gets anything. All these white things seem to defend me and shit.
Let her stick have a dialogue, guys. Let her stick have a dialogue.
People say whatever they.
Yeah, I don't mind. Yeah, if she's cutting me off to get clarification on something I said, that's fine.
I'm sorry they chimed in. I was just trying to get clarification from you.
No, you're good. You're good. No disrespect taken at all, Dr. Goddess. I like the organic back and forth. But Dr. Goddess, like the mentality that you have, I'm being genuine here. I'm being 100% honest. No disrespect, not even being funny. But this is why we're having the problems in our community, because we're so short-sighted and focused on just superficial things that don't matter in the grand scheme of things. So what I see is a lot more progress in our community when men like myself, men like Free, men like Thomas, men like Ray, who are able to have a conversation, exchange ideas, and not be the first one to try to get offended in order to shut the conversation down. I've noticed with men like us that there's a lot more progress that takes place versus other people that have the same mentality that you have. It seems like people with the same mentality you have, which sounds like this victim mentality, which is, the crack epidemic in the 70s and 80s and 90s. Like, I get all that stuff, Dr. Goddess, but at some point, man, we got to take an accountability. We had a choice. When they dropped that crack off, we had a choice, Dr. Goddess. Every time I go into the hood in Detroit, I see trap houses left and right, and I see nothing but black people rolling up every fucking 30 seconds, buying fucking drugs from other black people that are selling it in their own community and destroying their own community. They wake up every day, Dr. Goddess, and make a choice. That has nothing to do with white racism, white supremacy. It has nothing to do with Brad being on an app and telling how we see things. Nothing to do with Pepe being on an app telling us how they view things and see things. We have our own problems and we have our own decisions that we need to start correcting before we even start including anybody else, Dr. Goddess.
And I said that, right?
Just the facts.
And I said that, right?
But when you say that, it gets drowned out and gets cloudy and muddy with all the other bullshit that isn't going to help the black community.
But is it bullshit that America, and specifically the American government, introduced crack into our communities?
Ain't supposed to be all this dialogue.
Be quiet, Trap.
Trap, let them go back and forth, bro. Let them go back and forth.
Give them 2 minutes, Trap. They about to wrap.
Just because I know the history doesn't mean why do you think that if somebody cites the history, it means that like there's nothing else we can do. There's no accountability. Like we can't do anything. Like we know we're resilient. We have solutions. So why did you take me citing the history as like co-signing a lack of accountability and then calling it bullshit as if it didn't happen?
Well, because the bottom line is, the bigger point is that we still made a choice to interact. And the reason why history doesn't matter right now, Dr. Goddess, it's the same thing as if a house were to catch on fire. The firemen don't show up and want to have a discussion about the history of that fire, the history of that house, how it possibly could have started. When they roll up, they're just worried about one thing, and that's putting the fucking fire out, and then they figure out everything else after that. So we got to kind of have that same mentality. We got a fire in our community. And the number one fire that we have in our community is the millions of black babies being slaughtered every fucking year due to abortion. That's not the white man. It's not the Asian man. It ain't, it ain't the KKK. It ain't Donald Trump. We have our own black women every day making their own decisions to walk into abortion clinics and slaughter and kill black babies. So that's the number one thing we got to take care of, Dr. Goddess. That's the number one thing we got to take care of, Dr. Goddess, and it has nothing to do with history. It has nothing to do with the crack epidemic.
What do you mean it has nothing to do? It absolutely has. Sig, are you aware?
She's still living in the 80s, bro.
Be quiet, please. I'm talking to Sig. Sig, are you aware that black women who choose to have their babies have a higher rate of maternal death in these hospitals?
Shut up.
I'm just curious, though.
There's a negative birth rate in New York amongst
shut
black
up,
people.
lover. So, first of all, answer this. So, yes, black women do. Hold on. Sure. I can answer this, and the question is, I don't know. Hold on, and the answer is I don't quite know. But can you tell me why do Hispanic women, why do white women die at twice the rate due to birth complications in comparison to white women in comparison to Hispanic women? I don't know. I mean, is this white supremacist country giving preferential treatment to brown women over white women too? How does anybody know the fucking answer?
Well, there's easy ways to know the answer, and that's people have studied this. There's a film out this film just came out. It literally has been touring. It's called The Ebony Canal. If you all want to Google that, you can watch the trailer or whatever. This country is also very sexist. So the reason why white women would have struggles as well is because the healthcare system has not catered to women in the same way that it has catered to men.
But why do Mexican women, why can they get birth and have half the chance of dying of a white woman?
Honestly, it might be. I mean, I'm not quite sure, but my guess, because of the people that have been around, my guess is they don't actually use hospitals as often as we do, and they don't have a dependence on the system.
Where do Mexican women get birth?
Well,
I'm not talking about in the U.S. Let me rephrase that. I'm talking about women in Mexico.
Well, I mean, sometimes at home, sometimes in the hospital.
To say something about the Ebony Canal, like a literal
false fiction, goddamn ass.
It's the title of a film. It's the title of a film. I didn't make it
made
up.
up shit that
it's
was
not
horrible.
anything made up. You
Yes,
need
it
to
is.
read up on black
Yes, it
black
is.
women.
It's literally
Anyway,
just
I
a
was
movie.
talking to Sig.
Yeah,
Sig,
so,
you
yeah,
were saying
let them
you were
finish.
talking about the
Yeah, sure.
abortions, and and you were saying that it's all made up and that that it doesn't matter. And I was saying to you that yes, the reason why black women are having abortions, it does matter. History does matter. But in addition to that, even the black women who choose to have children have higher rates of maternal death.
What percentage of black women do you think get abortions because of the statistics that they're more likely to die than white women? That is like the dumbest fucking thing I've ever
Well,
heard.
no, I didn't say that. I didn't say that black women's maternal health is the causation for abortion. I'm saying both of those things are happening at the same time.
You don't think that you don't think it's kind of common sense? They impulsively have sex and with a man that they're not ready to have a child with, and then they end up having to do an abortion because they didn't, have take the precautions necessary to not get pregnant. The overwhelming majority of women in general, why they get births is just because it's, they just don't want a fucking child.
Because we live in a society that has not created the type of infrastructure where healthy families can thrive. 2, we live in an over-sexed society, all of us, right? 3, we live in...
Goodness great. Can I speak yet?
We're thriving longer than any people in history, to be honest. We're living
but that's
far
not
longer than
us
previous
thriving
generations.
longer. Us thriving, of course we are. This is still a first world country, so we're not going to ignore that. We're talking about we're talking about our problems.
Lover was I'm pretty sure Isaac want to speak. I'm waiting.
Europe has a much better medical
True,
system.
hey, time out, guys. You guys understand that she did engage with Pepe, so that kind of changed things a little bit. But let Pepe say wrap it up and we'll move on. So hopefully we have 2 more minutes. Go ahead, guys. Go ahead, wrap your point up, please.
Yeah, I can look it up in terms of the disparities because I'm not quite sure. It's just something that I have to. I know, obviously, I know more about black women because I hear about black women, I read more about black women, so I'll look up around Hispanic women. But I also know, there's a running joke, if you will, a social media joke about the We Do Not Care Club, and it has hit women all across the United States because the issues around perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause is just understudied, and it's undervalued. And so, there's a whole joke around, we do not care if you think blah, 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 blah. It's popular because of that. So
do y'all care about men? Can I ask that question?
No, wait. Time out, real quickly. Sig, was you done engaging with Dr. Goss?
Yeah, I apologize.
Free. I have a question just for clarification.
No. I thought it was Trap's turn.
I just want to ask her.
I don't want to continue it on because she's just going to go on.
Just asking if she had kids. Pepe, that was it.
It was on Logan too, by the way. So go ahead, Logan. It's on you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Miss Goddess, do you have any kids or a husband?
Well, my personal life is none of you all's business.
So, no. Okay. I do, and I have 3 kids. I have a 7-year-old daughter, a 5-year-old son, a 3-year-old son, and I've been with my wife for 12 years. So easy that is. So you have a parentless womb, and you've never had any children.
You're making assumptions that you know nothing about.
I figured I was right. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're not right. So whatever you want to say is fine with me.
Yeah, okay. So
Next
I just wanted to say, as a younger man, I heard her say something about the younger men need to do. Man, we're not. I'm sorry. All this fucking race, goddamn crying and screaming about some shit that never happened to us. Probably it never bro. I'm sorry.
That never happened to you.
No.
How old are you?
I was born in 2004.
Okay,
so no, none of this shit that you're talking about happened to me.
Did you grow up
not a motherfucker part of it happened.
Did you grow up in the hood?
And then listen, Now listen, I think
you grew up in the hood. I'm asking.
You don't have to cut me off because I do not want to enter. I do not want to like have a dialogue with you.
So on that, no. I got this on that. That is true. He was into a behavior, but since he doesn't want to engage, I will let it.
I'm laughing because he was the main one interrupting. I'm dying, but go ahead.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, like I heard her try to like say that younger men need. No. I want to tell y'all, a lot of these goddamn race conversations are about to die down. If you guys don't know, we are in 2020 fucking 5. So like, we're not inside a divided nation anymore. Matter of fact, you have more immigrants coming over here now. You have more divested communities. You have more interracial marriages. So all this race shit like is about to come to a fucking end, and I want to see what the community does then. When everybody's mixed up in this motherfucker like a box of crayons, like literally like a box of crayons. Yeah, I want to see what the fuck us as the black community will do then. I want to see what we're going to do because for the last 20, 30, 40, 50 years, 60 years, they've been crying instead of actually like building, functioning, processing, making change. Like all this fucking crime. I want to see what the fuck happened when everybody looked like, like not like just straight niggas. Like, cause I mean, that's what's gonna happen. I mean, niggas is good. We already was the minority. I think I just heard the brother like pull out another thing that like now we already the minority, and y'all think that it's all right for y'all to be aborting black babies, and then tell men who divest and go into other communities where their kids won't get fucking killed that that's a wrong goddamn decision. That shit sound crazy to me. You know how much black women I know? Like, no, I know so much black women who cry about men who are melanated on divesting, and that brother just said something so amazing. Like, y'all killing our kids. What the fuck am I? Like, who's signing up for that? You know how much niggas I know, men right now that I know who actually fit into that category? Like, they wanted a child. They were preparing to like change statistics or help change, and the lady completely like slaughtered his whole like, his whole lineage is gone already before it even like actually started. You see what I'm saying? So like all this crying and complaining that it's not helping nobody. It ain't helping you. It damn sure was not helping us, because like y'all motherfuckers like complain so much that now y'all parenting like that shit got cut down to a minimum. Like it's so much things that happens when you guys worry about other things outside of the things that actually matter. Like, how many people do you think have fucked up their real lives worrying about situations that do not fit into their fucking life?
Well, what do you think is crazy? What matters? What should we think?
Well, hang on 1 second, Norm. So, Trap, are you finished?
I mean, I guess I am. I see you're anxious.
I mean, I'm not rushing you.
I mean, you're anxious. Go ahead.
No, I'm not anxious.
What should we
I'm not anxious. Go ahead. You can finish, Trap.
It's open. Go ahead.
Yeah. So bottom line, I just want to, because again, it's really after a certain age frame that this mindset will get cut out. But I want the older people, because again, I'm Gen X. I want the older people to realize, like, you cannot force people to want to be racist. You cannot force people to be pro-black in quotations. You cannot force this. You have to understand that. No matter how much talk, you cannot force men to, what do y'all say, like protect random ass women that they don't fucking know. Just because they're
okay. Her generation will be dead soon.
Yeah, but that's what's gonna happen though. And then like all the wonderful things that we do, even though it's not gonna be like perfect, they're not gonna be like a part of it at all. Then we're gonna look back at their generations like, what the fuck were they doing? And then there will be people getting talked about. Like,
wait, hang on. No.
They're going to be the people talked about and shit, like how we talk about
stopping
Adolf Hitler, like how we talk about Adolf Hitler and how we talk about the Babylonians and like the Roman. Y'all going to be the next group of people to be talked about like so bad because y'all were stuck inside a mind frame that did nothing for y'all.
Who's the y'all?
Not a fuck thing.
Your generation, Dr.
Okay.
Whatever.
Okay.
We can talk about what.
My name is Dr. Goddess.
Yeah, like the 45 to 65-year-olds are going to be dead the next 10 years.
We're not talking to you right now, which I'm talking to Trap.
Because the majority more.
Okay, lover.
Talk to Trap.
So, Trap, what's important? What should we be focusing on?
Abortions.
No, what we should be focusing on is first thing, I think everybody should be focusing on being self-sufficient, because men and women acting like they have to have all these gender roles and all this other shit, like all these crazy ass ideologies and narratives to get in a relationship and start a family. You know how much people...
So would that be focusing on education? Would that help us to be self-sufficient?
Listen, nigga, I mean, you can focus on education also. I mean, that's what comes with, like, putting into a unit, you know, like, you should want your children to be educated. But first thing, like, a lot of these people need to figure out, are you putting into the next generation? A lot of you guys, I know you guys here on this app all the time, people tell y'all that, well, you guys, a lot of you people don't deserve to put into the next. I'm not going to tell you that. I'm going to tell you, you should want to put into the next generation. You should want to have your
Norm. Let him. I hit the response.
Yeah.
Can you let him land?
I'm helping him to clarify his
I mean,
what does
just
that
let
mean
him
to put into
speak.
the next generation? He's speaking. What does it mean to put into the next generation?
Procreate. And I'm talking about do it like, it's nothing perfect again, but do it the best way possible in your mind. You feel me?
Have babies and educate them?
Yes. That's what you should want to do.
Stop killing your babies, Stormy.
Yes. Yeah, you should want to, like, this generational wealth shit that we talk about so much, and you act like you have to make it by your fuck. That's what the fuck the kids is for. You know that?
Okay.
That's what the kids is for.
Let me respond
Have
to you,
babies and educate them. I get it now. I'm down with that. Thank you.
Okay. So, Trap,
And he sounds like a hurry.
I hear you say you were born in 2004. So first of all, I just want to say to you, history does matter, but so does a vision for the future. And what you described about people moving out, not caring about race, marrying one another, living with one another, that's actually the beloved community that Martin Luther King was talking about. So I don't think that, nobody's trying to hold you back if that's what you want to do. That doesn't require you hating the Black community or hating any of the goals of the Black community. And also, many people in the Black community agree with you. The ghetto is it's a sociological experiment. It's not natural. So that's why we have a reverse migration.
What do you mean the ghetto's not natural? That they've always fucking existed?
No, the ghetto has not always existed.
Where did the ghetto start?
The ghetto started with redlining.
No. Originally, where did the word ghetto come from?
Oh,
it started in Venice. Started in Venice.